I never imagined my own daughter would compare me to her father-in-law and make me feel small. A man who raised her, protected her, fed her, defended her, and carried her through every storm, reduced to a sentence she threw at me without flinching. But this is how the story begins. My name is Daniel. I am 58 years old, widowed for 11 years. My wife, Emma, was the warmth of our home. After she passed away, I stumbled. For months, I couldn't find balance, emotionally, mentally, financially. I wasn't broke, but grief makes even simple tasks feel impossible. My daughter, Lily, was 17 at that time. Too young to lose her mother, too young to watch her father fall apart, but she did. And she survived, better than I did. Fast forward, she grew up strong, independent, ambitious, the kind of woman her mother always knew she would become. She got married last year to a respectful young man named Mason. His father, Richard, is everything I am not. That's how Lily sees it. He's tall, charming, loud, successful, full of stories, full of confidence, full of life. And I, quiet, steady, reserved, and apparently not enough. The story that broke me began on a Sunday afternoon. Lily invited both families for dinner at her house. It was supposed to be casual, good food, laughter, and an attempt to bridge the gap between me and the new family she had married into. But things rarely go as planned. The tension started small. While we were at the dining table, Lily praised her father-in-law's support during their home renovation. "Dad, Mason's father practically built the deck by himself. Every beam, every nail, he did it alone." I smiled politely and nodded. Maybe she didn't mean anything deeply. But then she added, with a tone that sliced through me like a blade, "Unlike you, he always gets things done, always shows up, always knows what to do." The table fell silent. Mason's mother shifted in her seat awkwardly. Mason stared at his plate. Only Richard seemed comfortable, taking a sip of his wine like nothing happened. Inside, my heart tightened. Outside, I just breathed slowly. "I see," I said quietly. Lily shrugged. "I mean, it's true, Dad. Mason grew up watching his father handle everything. He never backed down from responsibility. You struggled even with simple things after Mom." She stopped halfway, realizing what she was about to say. But it was too late. The implied accusation hung in the air. "You failed after Mom. You weren't strong enough. You didn't do things alone." The dinner ended early. I hugged my daughter, told her good night, and drove home with her words echoing inside me. That night I didn't sleep. For 11 years, I had carried guilt for not being strong enough after my wife died, and my daughter had finally given it a voice. But she didn't know the whole truth. She didn't know what happened the year Emma died. She didn't know what I did alone. She didn't know because I never told her. But something changed inside me that night. A resolve, a quiet fire. If my daughter believed I had been weak, it was only because she didn't know the full story. And so the next morning, I decided to tell her everything, whether she liked it or not. When I reached her home, she was surprised to see me. Her eyes were puffy. Maybe she regretted what she said, maybe not. "Dad, what are you doing here?" "I came to talk," I said. She hesitated. "About last night?" "Yes." She invited me inside, and we sat in her living room, sunlight spreading across the carpet. "Lily," I began, "you said something yesterday, something you've probably held inside for years, that I couldn't handle things alone, that I wasn't strong like Mason's father." She opened her mouth, but I raised my hand. "Before you say anything, let me tell you a story you never heard." And I began. "The year your mother died, everything fell apart for me. You saw the surface, but not the shadows behind it. I was working full-time, trying to keep our business afloat. Your mother's medical bills were climbing. I sold our car without telling you. I cashed out retirement funds that I had spent my life saving. I took loans in my name just to keep our home. Yes, I looked like I was struggling because I was, but you never knew I was fighting battles you never saw. You know the house you grew up in, Lily, the one you always said felt warm and safe. I paused. Your mother never knew, but that house almost slipped away from us. We were 3 months behind on mortgage payments. She looked stunned. I didn't want you or her to worry. So every night after you both slept, I took up part-time work at the loading docks. Midnight to 4 a.m. lifting boxes. My back was breaking, Lily. Literally. But I didn't stop. She covered her mouth. And every morning I would come home, shower quietly, dress up, and pretend everything was fine so you wouldn't panic. That smile you saw, it wasn't because I was strong. It was because I refused to let you see me break. Tears welled up in her eyes. You said yesterday that Mason's father did everything alone. I leaned forward. But I did things alone too. I just never bragged about them. I never told you because parents aren't supposed to hand their children their burdens. Her lips trembled. Do you remember the day of your 18th birthday? I asked. She nodded slowly. You had a beautiful cake, a new dress, gifts from friends, and you and your mom laughed the whole evening. She smiled faintly at the memory. That birthday cost me the last bit of money I had. I knew your mother didn't have many months left, and I wanted you to have one memory untouched by pain. Lily's tears spilled over. I continued softly, and the reason I struggled after your mother died wasn't because I was weak. It was because I lost the only person who truly understood how hard I was fighting. She broke down completely. Dad, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. How could you? I said with a sad smile. I never told you. I just wanted you to feel loved, protected, safe, even if it killed me quietly. She hiccuped, covering her face. And Lily, I added gently, you're comparing me to a man who built a deck. I wasn't building wood. I was holding up a whole family by myself. Silence filled the room, thick but healing. Then Lily rushed to me and hugged me like she hadn't hugged me in years. I'm so sorry, Dad, she whispered into my chest. I said such a cruel thing. I didn't know what you carried. I didn't know how much you sacrificed. I know, I whispered back. I know you didn't mean it to hurt me, but now you know who your father really is. She pulled back, wiping her tears. I need to fix this. She insisted we call Mason and his parents over the next weekend, so she could tell them the truth, not about the debts, not about the hardest details, but about the strength she had overlooked. That weekend when they came over, Lily stood confidently and said, My dad is the strongest man I know. He didn't fail. He carried the weight of 2 parents after my mom died. I judged him without knowing his sacrifices, and I was wrong. Richard nodded respectfully, and for the first time he looked at me differently, not as a quiet man in the corner, but as someone who had fought silent wars he didn't brag about. After dinner, Lily hugged me again. You did do it all alone, Dad, she whispered. Way more than Mason's father ever did. I'm proud of you, and I'm sorry I wasn't proud sooner. Her words healed something inside me. Finally, she saw me. A father who didn't boast. A father who didn't crumble. A father who survived the storm, so his child wouldn't have to. And she never again compared me to anyone. Because now she knew the truth. I didn't do everything alone because I wanted to. I did it because she needed me to. And that, not the deck, not the nails, not the beams, is what real strength looks like.